my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Hey guys, welcome in. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. I don't know what happened. I think I just needed to restart my computer. It was just being really funny. And so sorry that you guys had to wait about a few minutes. So we're here, we're ready. I've got the dogs snoozing behind me. I think they're both on their own bed tonight. They are, they'll be together here in a minute. And you'll probably hear them. You can actually see this one a little bit. You can see her a little bit. In the background, you can actually see it a little bit more. I don't know what I did differently, but whatever I did, I'm glad I did it. So hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tanya. This is Titanium Built True Crime. And if you're into true crime, you came to the right spot because that's what we talk about on this channel. Guys coming in and joining me every night. And I saw that Steve already dropped a $5 super sticker. Cannot believe that we got Steve in here tonight. It must be Christmas. It must be the holidays. Must be the holidays. We miss you around here. We do. And Ashley, I saw that you're in here. I hope you're doing okay too. Hey, Princess, welcome in. Hey, Ladybug. Go through some names real quick here. Hola, baby girl. Hey, Casey. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Ruby Nikki. Marcella's in here. Hello, everybody. We got Steve. And we've got Ashley. Oh, we're thinking of you. We're thinking of you. Such a hard time. The holidays. Hey, DM. I mean, it's never a good time, but you know, like it's always around it's always the holidays. I feel like something always has to happen, but I hope that you are okay and we're thinking of you. So I hope everybody got some snow. I think everybody did. We did. We got like 6 inches here. So it's been fun. We've been staying inside. I'm not going out in this. So, but tonight we're going to talk about Brian Walshe and the murder trial that he's on right now. Specifically everything that's happened over the last week. We kind of been going week by week, like on Sundays, we'll, talk about what happened over the week in the trial and what to expect, going forward, they're in jury deliberations. So that's what we're waiting on right now. But things can always change very quickly in this case. So we're going to get y'all up to date. So, last week there was a huge turning point in the trial. Closing arguments wrapped up and the case was officially handed over to the jury. That means that the jury is now responsible for deciding whether Brian Walshe is guilty of first-degree murder or if he is innocent. First degree is on the table. That's what they're going for. One thing that really stood out is that Brian Walshe decided not to even testify. I thought that he might go on the stand and take the stand and actually, try to spew some bullcrap. But then again, I thought, no, he's a coward, just like all the cowards are, that unalive their wives or kill their wives. They're usually cowards. They don't usually take the stand. Case in point, Brian Koberger, right? He said, I'm innocent of all these charges, and he didn't take the stand either. And I know people will give me every excuse under the book why he didn't, but I don't care. But they didn't even call a single witness. Like, he didn't testify, and they didn't call anybody. They were like, we're good. I'm kind of surprised he didn't testify too. I mean, I don't know. I'm on the fence with him. Like, I'm on the fence because I think he's a coward, and cowards normally don't get on the stand. But I also think he has a little bit of narcissism in there, and I thought maybe he would take the stand. Thought he might be able to go up there, snot it out like, right? He tried anyway. But just a reminder, the jury is weighing a lot of the circumstantial but detailed evidence. And some of that is including the internet searches tied to the body disposal, surveillance footage of him, testimony about the last time that Anna Walshe was seen alive, tools and physical evidence connected to the home, and we saw him out purchasing all kinds of stuff for the home. New saws, new hatchets, new everything, new cleaning supplies, hundreds and hundreds of dollars spent at the Lowe's. And Brian Walsh's own statements to police. He didn't do himself any favors. Also, I think with him pleading guilty to dismemberment and concealment, I think that right there is going to be hard to get around. Like, as a juror, I mean, do they know? Actually, do they know? I can't remember if they even were told. Because I know that the defense wanted it to be held, but I don't think they held it. So you're sitting there in deliberations and you're like, well, this guy said he dismembered her because she died of natural causes. And, you're looking around the other people, like trying to get their take on it. And you're like, he didn't call the police. He didn't run outside screaming that he needed help. He didn't call anybody. He didn't call his mama. No, nobody. Instead, he's scared that his kids are going to see her like that. So he decides to dismember her and then take her to different places to throw her away. And places that have incinerators. I mean, but he didn't plan nothing. He didn't plan nothing. The Google searches, he didn't plan them. That was his son. His son did those. So basically what we're just looking for right now is the jury is just in deliberations until they reach a unanimous decision. If they don't, there'll be a hung jury and they'll have to do a retrial. But the options are normally guilty of first-degree murder. Oh, I guess they do have second-degree murder on there, or not guilty. Now, maybe they can come back and say second degree, but I don't know. I mean, if you don't, if you don't plan the murder, let's say you murder someone that wasn't planned, right? That was like a heat of passion or something, but then you dismember them. That's an afterthought. Like with premeditation? That's a good question. I don't actually know the answer to that. I guess it would be separate charges. So it would be, I guess it would just be disposal and concealment and dismemberment charges. And welcome in, everybody, as I'm over here talking about this, dismemberment. But once the verdict is reached, they will announce it. I'm hoping that I am somewhere where I can go live and tell you guys the announcement because I do have a lot of places I have to be this week. So I'm not sure what my luck will be. But I will make sure that I do that. And I should put up like a poll or something. I don't even have my studio up. I had to like restart my computer and I just came right on. I was watching earlier The Big Bang Theory, like their last episode, and I was like, it was really sad. And now I have like all this stuff about The Big Bang Theory on there. Okay, I don't want to switch accounts. I'm like, when I go to my studio, it's like I have like a moment where I don't know what I'm doing. I was going to do a poll with you guys. If I can like remember how to do it. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Start a poll. And we are going to do, I think we're going to do like a Christmas, something for like Christmas, like a Christmas party or something. I don't know why it just made me think of that. We're talking about Brian Walshe, but it did. I'm just going to put, do you think Brian Walshe will be found guilty? Yes, no. And I'm going to put no hung jury as an option. So, okay, the poll should be in the chat. Let me go over here to where I was going to. Let's see. I lost my internet connection, so let's just I can close that. I can close this. Wait, I think I closed something. Did I need that? I don't know. I don't know if I did, but if I did, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Right? I don't know. I really don't. I don't know how they like fell in love. But I'm thinking because he's such a con artist, because I mean he was selling paintings, that weren't even real paintings. I think he conned her in the beginning. I think he conned her. I think that she saw, I mean, I don't know what she saw in him. I really don't. Did you see the boyfriend though? Dang girl. She was not messing around. So basically, Mr. Rosebud, that was weird. That's what it was doing earlier. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. So I was going to tell Mr. Rosebud about what happened. So basically, it was New Year's Eve night. They had dinner with a friend. The friend left. Anna was never seen again. Anna. We have a case with Anna Kempner. So Anna. So what happens is they figure out that Brian Walshe, her husband, who has been trying to sell, knockoff paintings, he did actually sell them. He's like a con artist. They discover that he's been going around like dumping these bags in these receptacles. So they get the bags and they look inside of them, and there's evidence of his wife's like blood, carpeting, tools, all the things that you would need to in fact murder or dismember your wife. So yeah, he definitely did. I definitely think he did it. Let me make sure I can share my screen, because that was crazy. That like knocked me right off the screen there. Like, what the heck? Don't like worry about me over here. Okay, there we go. No, she had money. So she had money. He didn't. Yeah, she had money. And she was worth a lot. I guess a lot more than dead than alive. Hey, Against All Logic. And hey, FBI Director Aries Flowers. I love that. FBI Director. That just makes me. You make me laugh. You really do. Okay, so whoever put this together, I love them for this, because I started doing notes and then I was like, let me go to this site. So basically, we're going to go over the last like 5 days, just, through what they kind of like found, or what the prosecution kind of put on, what the defense was kind of putting on, which wasn't much of anything. But I mean, I guess they're doing what they can do for him. So Massachusetts versus Brian Walshe, and they are in the same courthouse as Karen Reed, Not as many people outside though. None at all, actually. None for him. And I wonder why. Wonder why it wasn't such a big deal for him. People were just like, yeah, he's guilty. He's guilty. I don't know. So day 7 centered on forensic interpretation and cross-examination of crime scene processing, biological testing, DNA interpretation, work. The testimony focused on what was Scott, how the items were handled, and Sorry about that. Okay. Can you hear me? I'm just going to tell them on my phone. Okay. I just put it on my phone. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's my internet or what. But Vincent's out there and he said it's fine. And so I don't know. That's very weird. Maybe he's like taking up the internet or something. I don't know. I could tell him to get off of it. It's making me upset. I don't like it. Because then, no one's going to watch the show if I keep coming and going. So, okay, let's try this again. And I'm just going to use my phone for now. I was asking about the baking powder. Like, what would you use the baking powder for? I guess you could use it to, soak up the blood. I know you could use it for cleaning or baking soda, not baking powder. Baking soda you use for cleaning. Maybe he thought baking soda was baking powder. I don't know. Okay, I have all my tabs like over here, and they're all like pinned, so they're so small. Okay. Also it says the white discoloration on the bedroom floor was caused by worn varnish, not chemicals. Okay. Mops, brooms, pails, and buckets purchased at Lowe's did not appear to be used. That's because he just ripped out the carpet, I guess. Hydrogen peroxide found in the cabinet above the refrigerator was unopened. Numerous items in the home were unused and did not contain biological evidence. No determination of blood spatter anywhere in the house. Damn, he cleaned good. Blood spatter is defined as blood in flight. No evidence that luminol, so it wouldn't just be resting on like the carpet. It would be like flung on the walls, like something like that. No evidence that luminol was used inside the residence. Okay, but I don't know how to say this, so we're gonna look it up. It will tell me.
Ceradac.
Okay, Ceradac blood confirmation test required dilution because the instrument detects extremely low concentrations of hemoglobin. Scientific blood-related findings were only located in the basement. So they did have some. No biological evidence was found on the stairway, living room, or kitchen. Couldn't have his kids seeing that, right? He did Google everything. I'm surprised he didn't Google himself. I've Googled myself before. His Googles were ridiculous. They really were. There were so many of them. So then rugs and basement evidence. He could not confirm whether the rug shown in earlier exhibits was the same rug he examined. When he got the rug, I wonder if he got the same damn rug. That would be smart. If you were like somebody that was committing a crime, I would have the rug before. I wouldn't just go out and buy it. I would be, I'm OCD. I would never kill anybody though, but I would be like that weird prepared person with the rug. So because if there's pictures of her right on this rug, he could be like, the rug's still there. Look, same rug. Same rug. I don't know who put it in. He installed it. There's no way he installed a rug. I don't see it. I don't see him. He's not using the tool that you have to jab, where you have to jab the rug underneath the board, the wall. No, he's not doing that. I don't know what he did. I don't know who he hired, but it says when he searched the house on January 8th, the rug was not present. Nothing in the living room prompted biological examination. The broken basement step and bottom wood piece showed a red brown stain, but no confirmatory test was done. Why not? Why didn't we confirm the test? Why didn't we do a test? Search activity. January 8th, 2023, about 10 investigators were at the residence. January 9th, about 15 investigators were at the residence. Investigators examined every room and consulted each other on findings. It's a big house. He relied on field notes from multiple troopers for his documentation and review. He reviewed Trooper Stephanie Delvin's report, but not her handwritten field notes. Delvin's report did not state that the January 8th discoloration matched what Sheehan saw on January 9th. He did not visualize the bedroom floor on January 8th and cannot confirm its condition the previous day. Slippers. Dark gray slippers contained red-brown stains on both sides. What's he doing this shit in his slippers? He collected samples from the interior to look for skin cells. He does not know who owned them or how the staining occurred. Trash facility evidence. He never went to the Peabody trash facility. Defense suggested stains could originate from compactor transfer. Are you freaking kidding me? They tested it and it tested positive for her DNA. He examined hair fibers and found one hair consistent with human hair and one with animal hair. Hair was collected at Peabody. A separate clump of hair was also consistent with human hair. Human hair naturally sheds and could be present without violence. That's true. Wish they could have tested that against her human hair. I don't know why he couldn't. If they had a brush with her hair at the house, which he'd probably be doing some crazy stuff. Oh, Mr. Rosebud, you should have heard. I'll have to go through the Google searches. They were, how do you dismember a 115-pound woman? Like, it was like down to her size. Like, and he did it on his son's iPad, his kid's iPad, thinking he's going to get away with it. Hey, Tony. Thought he was going to get away with this shit. He wasn't going to get away with nothing. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I mean, but I've been wrong before. OJ got it. I mean, OJ was, we all thought he was guilty, so. But this guy ain't an OJ. So it says tools. He does not know where the tools were found, only that they came from the Peabody trash facility. Biological material and tools could come from a cross-contamination due to bad compression. A greasy, oily film was found on the hatchet, but no testing was performed to identify the substance. Why not? He did not purchase a duplicate tool for comparison. Why not? Redirect of Matthew Sheehan. Not all areas of the scene are tested. He focused on the most forensically relevant areas. A thoroughly cleaned home could reduce or eliminate biological evidence. Blood can be destroyed or diluted by bleach, hydrogen peroxide, and temperature. There was a carpet present on January 9th, and additional repair work had been completed. He does not know whether the trash bags entered the compactor. I'm telling you, that guy did not lay that carpet. If he did, it was just laying there like a rug, not even tucked in. And those cops would notice that. There's no way he put that rug in. I'm just wondering how it got in there. Just curious. So basically, this is just like cross-examination, but recross of Matthew Sheehan. He did not examine repair work. Repair materials could include foam padding around the fireplace. Lab analyst chain overview. The Commonwealth presented the list of laboratory personnel who handled evidence before DNA interpretation. Bryce Raymond analyzed basement stains, analyzed hacksaw blade, hacksaw handle, towel 1, apparent hairs, and rug piece from bag 5. Brianna Kessel, she examined interior of dark gray slippers and exterior of left slipper. Processed Tyvek suit, interior cuff, exterior pant leg, and interior sleeve. Why you got Tyvek shirt suit for there, buddy? Worked on unknown tissue from Swamp Scott dumpster. Prepared and passed samples for extraction. Madison Frank performed amplification stage of DNA testing. Troy Adams worked on slippers, Tyvek suit sections, and Swamp Scott tissue, performed second and fourth DNA processing steps. Emily Oliver worked on hatchet head, hatchet handle, and gauze with red-brown staining, performed extraction and quantification. Mary, she worked on the hatchet and gauze. She performed amplification. Jolie worked on the hatchet. Karen performed second and fourth steps for Anna and Brian's reference DNA. See, if I was going to go into DNA, but one reason is I can't do tedious work. I thought I could, but I couldn't. But I wouldn't have been able to pass off the work, like only do 1 and 2 steps and then pass it off and let somebody finish it. Like I would want to do the whole, I'm one of those people, I want to do the whole thing. Like I'm not that I'm like not a group person, because that sounds like I'm not a group person, but like, I don't know. I just like doing all of it. I like seeing like the beginning and something coming to like the end. You know what I mean? Like, and getting that final result, I would be like, I want to see that final result. Right? I don't know. Not in a bad way. But Karen performed second and fourth steps. I read that. So Katrina, there's a lot of women, created DNA profiles for Anna and Brian for comparison. Stipulated DNA reference samples collected May 9th, 2018 by FBI during art fraud investigation. These reference samples were used for comparison in this case. So testimony from Saman Salim, forensic scientist number 3. So DNA interpretation and final reporting. Interior dark gray slippers, 3 contributors, including Anna, I'm sorry, I keep calling her Anna and Brian. Exterior left slipper top, 2 contributors, Anna included. Tyvek suit interior sleeve cuff, 3 contributors. Who's the third, I wonder? Anna and Brian included. Tyvek suit exterior pant leg, 1 contributor, Anna. Tyvek suit right interior sleeve, 2 contributors, Anna included. Limited support for Brian. Unknown tissue from Swampscott dumpster, 1 contributor, Anna. Okay. You don't just pass your tissue off, right? I mean, it's like inside your body. So that's as good as that's DNA. In my opinion, like you found some of her. You might not have found her whole body. You probably will never find her whole body. I mean, let's just be real. You won't. You won't. He threw it away. He compacted that shit. And she was small. 115. That's an extremely small woman. So for them to even find some of her tissue that's a good job for them. But then the basement floor stains, 2 contributors, Anna included, Brian excluded. Hacksaw blade and handle, 1 contributor, Anna. White towel number 1 with red brown staining, 1 contributor, Anna. Apparent hairs, 1 contributor, Anna. Rug piece from bag 5, Anna. Hatchet head, Anna. Hatchet handle, 2 contributors, Anna included. Second contributor unsuitable for comparison. I'm wondering who these other ones could be. I wonder if it could be their kids' like hair or something, or like their DNA gets on it because they live in the home. I would be sad. Tape with gauze and red blood stain, and red brown stain. 1 contributor, Brian. So apparently he cut himself in this somehow, a little bit, because he went and got tape and gauze for his own hand as he's hacking up his wife. He's worried about whatever injury he got because tape with gauze with red brown stain. That sounds like a piece of gauze with like the surgical tape around it. I have it in my bathroom. They send you home with a bunch of it when you're in the hospital. And that's what that sounds like an at-home made Band-Aid. So he must have hurt himself. Hey, Otto. So we'll go back over and cross-examination, Simone. Okay, so reported date January 13th, 2023. Some contributors may not be detected depending on quantity. Exact matching is possible only when there is a single contributor. She cannot tell how or when DNA was deposited. DNA transfer is possible inside compressed trash bags. So he threw her stuff in a trash can that somebody else hacked her body and threw it in there. Someone else did it. He threw trash in there, but someone else had already had her in there and hacked up. That's what they need to tell the jury. Like plain and simple, that's what they're saying right there. DNA transfer is only possible inside compressed trash bags. Cannot determine cell type, blood, skin, saliva. So then we got the home goods loss prevention. Surveillance review. Brian purchased rugs and candles using Anna's gift cards. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I didn't know that. You gotta be kidding me. I would come back from the dead and I would haunt you for the rest of your life if you did something like that. You hack her up, you kill her, the mother of your children, you hack her up in the same home that your kids are living in, and then you take her damn gift cards for freaking home goods and you go and buy rugs with it and candles. That's I mean, don't mess with Tony's gift cards. I mean, yeah, you just don't. That's crazy to me. I mean, I don't know why it's even crazier than him going to like Lowe's and getting all that stuff with his own money, but it is. Like, I mean, it's like a kick in the face because he had to have probably gone in her wallet to get those gift cards. And he would have had to known about those gift cards. He's a broke bitch, and he took her gift cards. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So that was at 9:30 a.m. At 9:57, Brian purchased towels and bath mats. Well, he used her gift cards probably again as well. I mean, whatever, there must have been extra money on them. He didn't want it to go to waste. Cross-examination, she was probably keeping them home good gift cards. So whenever she moved to Washington, D.C. and got away from his ass, she was going to use them to buy some stuff for the house. Instead, this is what happened. So some December transactions occurred in D.C. Gift cards from D.C. eventually used in Massachusetts. Defense suggested gift card exchange among family members, but they weren't his. I don't care. I don't care who the gift card exchange was for. They were Anna's, obviously. Even if, let's say Brian won these little gift cards. They were playing a white elephant game, where everything's in white packaging and you don't know what you're getting. You best believe as soon as he pulled out and he said, "Oh, I got me 2 home good gift cards," or I have a 1 home good gift card. It says cards, so I'm guessing more than one. Anna probably said, "I'll take those." Any woman would. We'd all take those from our man because they ain't gonna buy nothing at Home Goods. I do that. I used to do that with Vincent with not Target, but Amazon. He used to get Amazon gift cards all the time where he worked, and I'd be like, "Give me that. Give me like Amazon gift card. Like, I'll take that." So I mean, I can't believe that. I'm sorry I spent so much time bitching about that, but that's crazy. It says Commonwealth did not ask him to pull December DC store videos. Trial day 7 exhibits published and discussed. So the one where Anna is lying on the rug. Photos tied to the knife found above the refrigerator cabinet area. Photo published during forensic testimony. Knife item and swab documentation referenced. Dark gray slipper item photo. Hair and hair comparison imagery reference. Okay, I can't even say that word. Day 7 reporting also summarizes an analyst testified about DNA on items including Tyvek suit, slippers, hacksaw, hatchet, towel, rug pieces, and tissue. Wish we could have asked Brian Walshe about this stuff. That's why he wasn't going up there. He wasn't going to go up on the stand. Look at all this stuff. He was like, "I'm good." I seen how much that they put out. I'm good. So then we have day 7 emphasized on, that's the end of day 7. We'll just go to day 8. Okay. So then day 8, they have the testimony of Jim and Alyssa Kirby, friends of Anna. So Jim, a close friend of both Anna and Brian, took the stand and delivered emotional testimony. He described being with the couple on New Year's Eve shortly before Anna was last seen alive. He testified about that evening and recalled details from a celebratory gathering, noting that everything appeared normal between the couple at that time. He was the one that was at the New Year's party. There was only 3 people there. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I guess it wouldn't be a party. It's just like a gathering. But Jim recounted that he left the New Year's celebration between approximately 1 a.m. and 1:30. That was the last time he saw Anna alive. He testified that several days later, Brian Walshe called him to ask him if he heard about Anna because she had not been in contact. So he calls Brian. Like, "Hey, I haven't heard from your wife. Like, we're friends, He said that he advised Brian to call the police and alert the community when Anna remained missing. Like, "Hey, we got to you got to go to the police station. You know, you're the husband. You so much like Mamsick Applebat, huh? So then Elisa Kirby, a close friend of Anna's from Washington, D.C., also testified. She described her friendship with Anna and recounted messages and phone calls exchanged after Anna went missing. She became emotional while testifying about Anna and spoke about contact she had with Brian in the days following the disappearance. Wow. So surveillance and digital evidence described. Prosecutors presented surveillance video evidence showing Brian's movements after Anna's disappearance. So footage from the Home Depot in Rockland on January 2nd, 2023 showed Walshe purchasing large items, including cleaning supplies and a 12-pound bag of baking soda. That's a big ass bag of baking soda. Who even has, what would you even use that for? Hey, Lisa, what would you even use that much baking soda for? Like in a normal setting, right? Like in a normal setting, like I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I really don't. Why would you 12 pounds of freaking baking soda? I mean, I bought 5 pounds of sugar one time and I'm gonna have sugar for the rest of my life. So to hide smells and deodorize. Oh, okay. Well, that's what he was trying to do. So that's why he got it. Well, he knows more about it than I do. Additional surveillance showed Walsh's vehicle at other locations in the days following Anna's disappearance. I think I'm thinking of baking powder. That's what it is. Okay. I'm getting baking powder and baking soda mixed up. Baking soda is what you use to clean with. Baking powder, I don't know. Maybe you used to bake it with. I don't know. Just tell me. Baking soda is the one that you like put on the carpet if you want your carpets to smell good and stuff too. Like smells and stuff like that. I think I know. Yeah. Well, we could try to cook crack with it too. I think they cut crack. They cut the crack with the baking soda, so they get more crack out of it, right? I'm like, we'll tell you when I can tell you that. So then that's making me laugh. Okay, it says additional surveillance showed Brian's vehicle at other locations in the days following Anna's disappearance. The prosecution rested its case. After testimony from those two people, the Commonwealth rested its prosecution's case. It's like, we good. We went out with a bang. The defense filed a motion arguing the prosecution failed to prove its case. They do this in every trial. They say, please, judge, they did not prove their case. So let's just throw this out right now. You know. He says that the finding, but Judge Diane denied the defense's motion, finding sufficient evidence had been presented for the jury to decide. So there you go. The denial of the defense motion cleared the way for the defense to begin presenting its own witness the following day. So then, after the prosecution rests its case, here comes the defense, and it's their turn. So day 8 was marked by emotionally charged testimony from individuals close to Anna. We already kind of went back there, but it just says it linked back to the timeline of Anna's disappearance and her last social interactions. Video evidence continued to be used to outline Brian's actions in the days after Anna was last seen, because he was seen everywhere. He smiled on that video, the one that he's in the Home Depot or the Lowe's or wherever he is at. He walks in and he looks right at that camera and he smiles. And his smile to me is the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. He has one of the creepiest smiles. Like, I don't know how Anna saw past that smile. That, like, I don't know how to do it. It's just creepy. Yeah, Otto, I don't like that. I'm so mad about that. I'll be using my cards after I'm dead. You know what I mean? You already killed me. You hacked me up, and then you're going to use my cards? Man. So then we've got Trial day 8, exhibits published and discussed. So this is the next set of exhibits. A specific picture on page 39 was published. Published during necklace-related testimony. I love my necklace appears in the excerpt. There is the signed box, a side of box with Brian's signature, another side of the box, TJ Maxx thumb drive admitted. Would you get TJ Maxx? Did she have a gift card there too? Because I think Home Goods. Oh yeah, you can use Home Goods at TJ Maxx because they're the same company. So, did you go TJ Maxx? Photo of Anna with her face blurred in the exhibit as described in court. So then we get down to day 9. The focus of the day is still the digital forensic evidence, his phone activity. So the digital evidence and phone activity is as follows. The Commonwealth presented additional testimony contextualizing Brian Walsh's cellular phone usage during the period immediately following Anna Walsh's disappearance. You always do something different. Like, people are weird. Like, we're creatures of habit in a way, but we will do things that are out of the norm when we do something like this, right? Like the Google searches, he was probably on his phone for 6 hours that day compared to maybe 3 hours normally, right? That would be like an influx, and like that would be something to look at. That's probably what he's doing. It says evidence shown repeated phone activity, including unlocks and power connections during time Brian Walsh claimed the phone was misplaced or not in use. Oh yeah, his kid took it. You lie. Prosecutors emphasized that the phone was actively connecting to power sources, undermining claims that it was lost or inaccessible. Oh, look at that. It was connected in different towers. Correlation with prior evidence. The Commonwealth tied phone activity to previously introduced surveillance footage, including movements consistent with shopping trips and disposal-related activity. Prosecutors placed the digital evidence alongside earlier testimony regarding purchases of cleaning supplies and tools, dumpster surveillance, internet searches related to cleanup and body disposal. Jurors were shown how the timing of phone activity aligned with those events rather than contradicting them. Internet searches revisited, because I mean, you could talk about those internet searches all day. I mean, there's so many of them. So it says the Commonwealth stressed that no single piece of evidence stood alone, but that the combined weight of digital records, physical evidence, surveillance footage, witness testimony formed a consistent narrative of intent and post-offense conduct. And I agree. Prosecutors argued that Brian Walsh selectively used his phone to create an alibi, while later claiming gaps in activity were due to the phone being missing. Don't think that phone was missing at all. I think that's when he was probably hacking her up and he didn't have time to grab his phone. Didn't want to get blood on it. Defense's response to that was the defense challenged the prosecution's interpretation of phone data, suggesting alternative explanations for device activity. Defense arguments reiterated that digital evidence does not establish homicide, emphasizing the absence of a recovered body. The defense maintained that the Commonwealth's case relied on interference rather than direct proof. That's what they were saying. I mean, that's not a good defense. Exhibits shown included phone activity charts, device movement timelines, correlation graphs, tying phone use to other evidence. End of day proceedings. Additional portions of the Commonwealth evidentiary presentation were completed. Procedural and scheduling matters were addressed by the court. And then the jurors were just dismissed, for the day. Jurors dismissed. They're probably happy. I mean, they can't get on the internet or anything, but at least they can get out of the room. I'm going to put the link if anybody wants to become a member of our great channel here. We would love to have you. And thank you guys all for being here. And if you don't mind, will you hit the like button for me? It really helps too. Thank you guys. So then we'll go down here a little bit to day 10. Day 10 and 11, it looks, or day 10 is December 11th. Okay. Trial day 10 marked the conclusion of the evidentiary phase of the trial. The court heard closing arguments from both the Commonwealth and the defense, followed by jury instructions and the start of jury deliberations. And I'm really surprised the little jurors didn't come back right away. Just really based. They are taking this seriously. I'm happy about that. You can tell that the jurors are actually taking this seriously because they are staying over, right? They didn't leave on Friday. So that means they were there all weekend, just in their hotel, no social media, no nothing. Like, I'm kind of wondering when they did their initial vote, because when you go back to the jury room, you just do an initial vote just to see where your guys are kind of sitting, you know what I mean? And then you kind of go from there. I wonder if the initial vote was more for like guilty, and I wonder if they were trying to like just do something to get out of there, because I think it'd be hard to be a juror. Like they're like, especially if you are used to like having your phone, which I'm not. I never have my phone, but I do like it, right? Like when I want it, I want it. So it would just be hard for me not to do the social media. I think it really would. I was a juror once, but social media wasn't really a thing then. Like it wasn't as big as it is now. It was like 20 years ago. So actually it was longer than that, 22 years ago. Wowzer, I'm old. Okay, yeah. Well, now that we've, established how old I am. But yeah, I was a juror, and it was grueling. It really was. It was, and not for me personally, I'm just saying like in general for everybody. So then it says the prosecutor summarized the full body of evidence presented during the trial. The Commonwealth argued that Anna Walshe was killed inside the family home in the early hours of January 1st, 2023. Prosecutors emphasized that Brian Walsh's actions afterwards demonstrated planning, cleanup, and concealment. Surveillance footage, purchase records, and dumpster activity were revisited as part of the unified timeline. Digital evidence and internet searches related to body disposal and forensic evasion were highlighted as intentional and purposeful. The Commonwealth stressed that Anna's absence, combined with the DNA evidence, tools, and cleanup materials, supported the charge of murder. Prosecutors argued that Brian Walshe repeatedly lied to police, friends, and family about Anna's whereabouts. Now we got the defense closing. The defense focused on reasonable doubt and the Commonwealth burden of proof. Defense counsel argued that the evidence did not establish how Anna died or that Brian caused her death. But his actions afterwards most certainly did. Okay. If she died, if he was upstairs and he's doing the dishes, there ain't no way he'd be doing them damn dishes neither. All right. Okay. No, I don't believe that for a minute. But let's say he's doing the dishes, being the best husband in the world. He goes into the bedroom and he's like, Anna, pushes her a little bit. Anna pushes her a little more. Anna pushes her right off the damn bed. Then he realizes she's dead. That's his story, right? So that's when you would call the police and you would start CPR. If you knew how to do CPR, you'd at least be on the line with 911 immediately. If you weren't on the phone with 911 immediately, because like you were just out of your damn mind, you'd be outside running around screaming for neighbors or in a frenzy or something. I don't think that you would just hack up your wife and get rid of her body. That's crazy. The defense argued that circumstantial evidence alone was insufficient to support a murder conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. Yes, it is. Before we had DNA, what? The only thing we really had was like fingerprint. Like, so that all we had was circumstantial evidence, or these detectives did. That's all they ever had. So what is this guy talking about? The defense well, that's probably the best thing they could do. The defense rested its case without calling any witnesses. Brian Walshe did not testify. Exhibits referenced include composite evidence timeline, search summaries, surveillance, and purchase recap image. Oh, you've been a member for 3 months, Casey. Thank you. Your arm changed. Now it's a bronzy arm. Oh, you think he burned her? He could have. But then that would have smelled. And the kids, I think that would have awakened the kids. He would have called 911, right, Brie? Yeah, right? That's what you do. That's what you normally do. You call 911. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do other than what he did. And why would he push her so hard she flew off the bed? Like, if she's dead weight, let's think about this, right? Okay, she's dead. So that means she is dead weight. How the hell did he push her off the bed? I just thought of that. Like, there's no way he could have pushed her off the bed. I mean, there is. Like, it's because it's a damn lie. That's why. He would have had to have really put his back into that and did like both hands. Because, I mean, if she's dead weight, she's not going to be, as easy to move. Man. Wonder where was his kids at when he was like dumping her body out like all around these places? Babysitter? Maybe he's saying he wants to go out and look for her. We watch the kids. I don't know what he was doing, but because they don't mention him doing anything with his kids with them. But so then the defense we read that. Exhibits referenced included the composite evidence, timeline, search summaries, surveillance, and purchase recap. So then the jury instructions were the judge instructed the jury on the elements of first degree and second degree murder. Jurors were instructed on elevating circumstantial evidence, credibility, and reasonable doubt. The court explained how jurors should weigh competing interpretations of evidence. Do you think they'll come back with the second degree? Because they didn't find her body? I mean, like, because if it's just based, if you don't base it on any of the after he murdered, after the murder, like none of the dismemberment or the concealment, if you don't think about that and you can only think about, did he murder his wife? I mean, technically, we all know in our mind, we like in our heart, right? But there isn't any evidence that shows that like he killed her. Like there's no bullet wound, there's no knife marks, there's no strangulation, there's no broken hyoid. You know what I mean? Like those things. So I mean, maybe that's why these jurors are taking longer to like come back with an answer, because maybe they're stuck on just that. Like they have to think about just the murder, not anything he did afterwards. Now I'm not sure. They may say, yeah, bring all that in. You can deliberate with that being in mind. Now, if that was in my mind, like he cut her up because he said that she died because of unknown circumstances, I don't know. I don't know what I'd be able to do. It's like one of those, like, if you think about it, like technically we don't know how Anna died. I mean, we all have our thoughts and, opinions, but without him telling us, we don't know. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll go to prison and, he'll want some butter for his biscuits too. And he'll reach out to some serial killer and have a friend, and they'll become friends. And then he'll say, oh yeah, okay, I'm cool with this serial killer. I'm going to tell my story too. Where's Catherine Ramsland? So maybe she's on speed dial, because he might. I don't know. I don't know if you think I mean, he'd make it in prison, but God, he's just so creepy. Following instructions, the jury began deliberations. Jury deliberated briefly before being dismissed for the day. Deliberations were scheduled to resume on the next court date. So that I think this is the last one. Yeah. So then Brian Walshe trial day 11, December 12th, 2025. Best day ever. So trial day 11 consisted entirely of jury deliberations. No witness testified and no new evidence was introduced, because it's literally it's in the jurors' hands. But the jurors reconvened following closing arguments and jury instructions delivered on trial day 10. Deliberations continued for several hours inside the jury room. I believe it was 4. Jurors reviewed testimony, exhibits, and the judge's legal instructions on first-degree and second-degree murder. And they might come back with second-degree. I don't know. Like, because I think I think that even if you get second degree, it's not like most states. Like first degree, like they don't have the death penalty, but I think first degree you get like life without. Maybe even second degree you get life without. I have to look that up though. What do you like second? Okay, so oh wow. Okay, so in Massachusetts, second degree murder is an unlawful killing with malice aforethought. It says intent to kill / cause serious harm or extreme atrocity / cruelty, but without the deliberate premeditation required for first degree murder. Carrying a sentence of life in prison with the parole eligibility after a court set determined, usually 15 plus years. It covers impulsive killings, those during inherently dangerous felonies, or killings showing a conscious disregard for life, differing from manslaughter by the presence of malice. Wow. So that could sound like him almost. I don't know. I mean, 15 years ain't shit. You could be on half the time. Is it 15 years flat? I mean, like fixed or like, that's not a lot of time. That's not a lot at all. Well, let's hope that they don't come back with that. I know that the jurors, they, okay, so they did submit a question to the judge. I wonder what it was. The question concerned an exhibit previously introduced at trial, identified as Exhibit 97. Also, that's the one where Anna was laying on the rug, and then the rug was later recovered from the dumpster. So the judge addressed the questions in open court with counsel present and provided guidance consistent with jury instructions. No verdict's been reached. Jurors did not reach a verdict by the end of the court day. The jury was dismissed to resume deliberations after the weekend recess. Court officials confirmed deliberations would continue on the next scheduled court date. So that'll be tomorrow. I'm not sure what time they'll be there. I think probably maybe 9. I don't think they were going in at 8. I think they were going in at 9, weren't they? No, I can't remember. Court officials confirmed deliberations would continue to the exhibits, photograph of Anna on a rug later recovered from a dumpster, discussed during jury questions. And then the significance of day 11. With day 11, the trial entered its deliberation phase. All evidence had been presented and argued. The jury focused on evaluating credibility, forensic evidence, digital records, and intent. The case remained under active deliberation with no verdict announced. So, okay. I was looking at the chat or the poll. You think he's narcissistic? I kind of do too. The way he's smiling. Let me see if I can pull. Like he just be a creepy. Like he just be a creepy son of a bitch. Like Anna? How did you not think this guy was like creepy McCreeperson, man? Like, look at this guy. Look at that hair. Look at that face. He looked like he hadn't slept in a while. Yes, with broken teeth. I know, Sam, right? Ugh. She was Otto. She just went to the bar to, not like that bar, but to go work out. They do like, I think Pilates and stuff. I do Pilates here. Well, I've done it a couple of times. It's rough. They are, Sam, yeah. So look, yeah, this picture, and then, I mean, look, This is when he saw the cameras. Remember, he come walking out and he looks gloomy. And then as soon as he saw there was a camera on him, he looked up and he smiled like that. Like, dude, they are filming you because they think that you murdered and dismembered your beautiful wife, the mother of your children, for God's sakes. The woman pushed her children out of her. She carried them for 9 months. I don't get it when husbands do this to their wives, because at some point they loved each other, right? To make babies, at least. They were in the hospital. She's pushing, he's looking, he's holding her hand. They're having their moment. And then I don't get it. I can't get my mind around it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Every time I click on something, it's going to do this now. So let's see. Where do I want to start? 3 days, 1 day. Okay. We'll listen to Banfield for a minute. We haven't listened to her in a little bit, so we'll listen to her rant. She's on one too. Let me tell you about this trial. So
huge day in the Brian Walshe murder trial in Massachusetts, and tomorrow could be bonkers.
And thank you all for being here.
Today, the prosecution rested, and though Anna Walsh's body has never been found, her cause of death still a mystery. The judge denied a routine defense attempt to dismiss the case. So Team Brian now has no choice but to lean in on his dubious, if not ridiculous, claim that Anna died naturally and suddenly for no apparent reason, and that, Brian just freaked out and dismembered her, as people do, with their kids asleep upstairs, and then dumped the pieces of their mom in various dumpsters all around town. Because
imagine them kids. They have to live with the fact that their father dismembered their mother. Oh my freaking God. Imagine being that little, oh my God, that's just too much.
Again, people do that. He admitted all of that garbage on day one of jury selection last month. The Commonwealth ended, though, on an emotional note today, the most emotional one yet. The last known person other than Brian to see Anna Walshe alive took the stand today. His name is Jem Mutlu, and he was Anna's former employer and friend. He was also the one and only guest who spent New Year's Eve 2022 at the Walsh's house in Cohasset, just outside of Boston. And remember, the first hours of 2023 are when Anna disappeared and likely was murdered.
Yeah.
But Mutlu told the jury that everything seemed normal that night, even festive.
Look at
least
him.
While he was there.
He's creepy to me.
And then he got emotional.
She's
and
so
he
beautiful.
Broke down on the stand multiple times, remembering how Anna had run out of the house to greet him that night and how he'd snapped a photo with her to send to a friend. He said nothing seemed wrong or out of the ordinary when he left after 1 a.m. But that changed 4 days later when he got a call from Brian Walshe telling him that Anna was missing. Here is what
4
Mutlu
days
had
later
to say about that.
I said, listen, did you guys have an argument or something? Did you have a fight?
And what was his response to that statement, sir?
His response was, I do remember this vividly as well. His response was, no, did it look like we had an argument? You were there.
And what did
So whoa, you were there, meaning she disappeared the night that he was there. That's what that would mean. Because that would mean you were there with us the night that she disappeared. Like, did we look like we were fighting? That's what I get from that. Also, what was I going to say? There was something else that he said that I wanted to include in my little speech there. I can't remember now, but it was something about the arguing. But no, like, yeah, he said you were there. Like, you would know. Like, to me, that sounds like, well, that's the day that she went went missing then. And I can't get over it.
you say to that?
I didn't know what to make of it. I was in shock. So.
Oh, that was what I was going to say. Sorry. The first thing that this guy said when Brian says, Anna's missing. He says, did you guys have a fight? Like right off the rip. Not like, oh my God, what happened? You know, when was the last time you saw her? It was, did you guys get in a fight?
I said, you've got to call the police, and we've got to alert everybody. We've got to let our community know, and we've got to find her.
But Brian didn't. No, he didn't call the police. Other people did, but he didn't.
Oh, look at that
4 days
picture.
later-
Look at this one. This one's one of my favorites. Like, look at this guy. I know, Mia, right? You want to go out there or something? She's talking to me back here tonight. What do you want? She's literally like talking to me here. But this is one of my favorite. Look at this picture of him. Look at the hair. Was he sleeping? They must have taken him when he was asleep. They had to have taken him when he was asleep. Look at, he's still sleeping. He's still asleep. I'll wake up later. He looked like he took a gummy.
On January
Or 20.
8th, Brian was charged with misleading police, and later that month, he was charged with Anna's murder. I want to bring in Bob Ward. He's a former reporter for Boston 25 News, friend of the show, and also the best dang investigative reporter known to man. He was in the courtroom today.
They've covered this case extensively.
I say that because it's true, Bob Ward, and you know it. So, Bob, I'm going to be candid with you, and I want you to be candid with me. Did the prosecution make its case, or was the case already made before the trial even started with this guy?
Well, it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for an answer to exactly how Anna Walshe was killed, was she stabbed, was she shot, was she strangled, was she poisoned, where did it happen in the house, you're not going to know the answer to that. And the Commonwealth did not argue that. But if you're someone who can put together the entire picture, the entire enormity of what happened in that house in Cohasset, Massachusetts, then it seems to me that the prosecution has made its case. And the judge today said, at least, the very least, and she was asked about a directed verdict, she said, I have to look at this in the most favorable light to the prosecution under the rules, but the jury is going to decide this. I'm not going to decide this. So we'll find out.
Yeah, the directed
Not
verdicts
me.
almost never work. I have seen it when it has worked, and I just about fell over in my chair when it worked the one time that I was covering a trial. However, I do want to ask you this. Jen Mutlu was an important witness, and always loved, ending with a bang. And he was emotional on the stand, and he was informative. He was in that house hours before Anna died. And so I wonder if you think he did what was needed, like nail in the coffin, of the defense's case, or if he just added color and tugged at the heartstrings of jurors.
Yeah, I think a little bit of B. He had a little bit of trouble on the stand because he wanted to say, and he did say, but it was objected to and stricken from the record maybe about a dozen times. He wanted to say that in a phone call a couple of days before New Year's, that Anna had been talking to him, and he got the impression that they were having marital problems. And he said, I want to put this on hold. I want to have a longer conversation. He was not allowed to say that because he was characterizing what Anna said instead of saying exactly what she said. And it was odd that he couldn't get over that because that became a thing. It went on for about 10 minutes. But what he was trying to say is that when he spoke to Anna, Anna told him that she was sick of traveling. She was sick of being without her children. And I think it was in voir dire earlier in the day, without the jury there, that he said something along the lines that it was destroying her psyche, or it was weighing really heavy on her. So it was odd, Ashley, that he couldn't just figure out what it was that they were going after. But I think, bottom line, I think he was a good witness for the prosecution because he was a friend of Anna's. He cared about Anna. And that phone call that happened that you just described on January 4th, Brian is being very defensive, almost obnoxious. And don't forget, that is the day, January 4th is the day that Anna Walshe was reported missing. And he's having that kind of reaction as he's talking to Jeb.
Okay, well, mark your calendar for the end of the defense case because I can't wait to hear that one. I don't even know what kind of witness you bring up to say I chopped up mommy while kids are sleeping upstairs because I don't know. I was worried she died beside me in bed. It's just, the whole thing's preposterous.
And we're wondering if Brian is going to wrap it up. We're wondering if Brian is Brian going to take the stand? That's our question. That we're all wondering that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please, dear God, yes. Just let's pray to the heavens above that happens. Santa, it's all I want. Other than Bob Ward as a regular guest. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
Yeah, you weren't going to get me, Kumo. I was on that. I go to this Pilates place. Is like it's my town's name, but it's hard. It's hard. I was like, "What you want me to do with it?" I was like, "This is a practice class. What are we doing?" I think I'm going to do their stretching class though next. Okay. There was one other video I was going to show you guys that Banfield did. She did this a day ago about the jury deliberations. And this smiley necklace, what is that? She's always wearing it and it's really cute. What's it? Smiley face. Like, I'm so curious. I wonder if someone gave it to her or made it for her. It had to have been made for her or something. Because this is all like, these are all just like, not what I'm looking for. Maybe I should put her name in. Oh, look at this. Came up. Oh, never mind. It's not saying anything about it. Okay, I'm going to look it up for us in case anybody else thinks it's cute and they want to know where she got it because I do. I'm about to ask on her podcast. There we go. That's what we could do. Just go over to her channel because I think it's really cute.
3 years ago next month.
That's what it looks like anyway. It looks like a smiley face to me. I don't know what it is, but it looks like a smiley face.
Brian Walshe cut his wife up into pieces and threw her body parts out in a whole bunch of dumpsters all around where he lived. Now, why would someone do that? He told a jury he freaked out because his 39-year-old wife just died, beside him. Totally healthy. They just had a lovely New Year's Eve dinner with a friend. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. She just died and I freaked out. So with my kids in the house, I devised a plan to cut her up into pieces and throw everything about her away in the trash. And then I'm going to lie to police and say, don't know where she is. She went on a business trip. So you can imagine when they started finding these things, pieces of his wife, at least bloodied cloth and her artifacts. And, video of him finding all the accoutrement to cut her up and clean it up, that they would charge him with murder, which they did. He admitted that he cut her up, but said, oh yeah, she just died naturally and I cut her up. Yeah. So you would imagine that when the jury gets that case, it would take them 5 minutes to say, you're guilty of sin, next. That didn't happen. The jury got the case today, and it's Friday. And my theory of Friday verdicts did not happen, which is why I called Bob Ward. He is a reporter for Boston 25 News. He's a friend of the show, and he knows this business like nobody else. Bob, I texted you today when you were in court, and I said, what the hell is going on? There's no verdict, and they've been at it almost 4 hours, and they are what? Calling it a day on a Friday? What happened?
Yeah, I think, Ashley, that this jury they were chosen back before Thanksgiving, and they've been told to stay off social media, don't watch the news, don't read newspapers. And I kind of had a feeling like you that they would be sick of that by now. And they take this job very seriously, and that maybe they would just want to get out of there and go home. But I was told around 2 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock, one of the court officers, I was asking a court officer about it, and he said, the evidence is just working its way into the jury now, because they're bringing in bags of evidence for them to go through. So they were still just in the process of getting organized, and it was a really long day. It was kind of emotional in a lot of ways with the closing arguments. So I'm not surprised that they decided to call it a day. They didn't even want to go to 4:30. The judge called them back in at I think it was about 3:45. I had to do a live shot at 4, so I had to go racing in there to see what was happening. And she said, I'll let you go to 4:30 if you want, and they said, no, we'll just go home now. So I think they just wanted some rest and wanted a break from this stuff.
I'm having an OJ moment because, I called OJ like the rest of us and I was wrong. And I called this one and said, I think they'll be out of there in 2 hours, including lunch, right? They got a break at noon. They got the case and I assumed they're going to eat lunch and then go to work and maybe they'll come back within 2 hours. And here we are on a Friday in the holiday season and they did not get a verdict. They did ask.
That's another thing. It's holiday season too, right? So they really must be like taking this case very seriously to be staying the rest of the weekend. Like, people are, I mean, it's getting close to Christmas. I'm not saying that, but like people that are on the jury, they just found out that they're probably going to be on the jury, a few weeks ago. And now they've lost 3 weeks of their, or 2 weeks of their life, to where they haven't been able to go and do anything because they've been, I think, sequestered the whole time.
Good question, though. Can you read some tea leaves and tell us what the question was about?
The question was about, and the reason we have to read tea leaves is because the judge did not read the question out aloud in court. She just kind of acted on it. The question was about a number on an exhibit. It was picture exhibit number 97. And from what we understand, that is an image of Anna Walshe lying on her back on a green and white rug in the living room of their home in Cohasset. Now, it's interesting that it would be that picture because that rug, we believe that rug is the bloody rug that was recovered from the dumpster up in Swampscott. And it is also the rug that was replaced just 2 days later by Brian Walshe. Before Anna is even reported missing, he is at a store on the South Shore buying rolled up carpet and candles. And so when the police went into that house to take a look at it on the 4th, and the interior of the house, they saw a carpet. It looked business as usual. There's no evidence of any kind of crime. Ashley, I just am stuck with the thought that that carpet is very significant because if you think that she was murdered, it seems to me that that carpet is what she was standing on or sitting on when she was murdered, rolled her up in that carpet, brought her down to the basement, and then everything else happens. So, and it would also explain, I think, why they didn't find any blood in the living room, on the living room floor. So that's what they were looking at.
All wrapped up in that carpet. Yeah, and you know what? The judge told them to, don't rely on your sympathy here, rely on the evidence. But look at that. That you can't separate your sympathy from that evidence, no matter what. Okay, well, Bob, don't make any plans on Monday night at this time because.
Well, that was a lot. I mean, I think that they will make a decision on Monday. I do think that. I don't think they'll take another 8 hours or whatever they'll have that day to deliberate. They may deliberate through lunch to get another free lunch, but I'm telling you, the lunches aren't that good. So they probably won't even care to do that. If they get I bet Monday morning they'll come in, they'll go in, they'll sit down, and they will all they'll all do another vote and see where they're at. And then if 1 or 2 people are voting like not guilty, but the rest of everybody else is saying guilty, then they'll kind of like deliberate with each other or debate like, why do you think he's not guilty? And this is why I think he's guilty. And then they like bring in the evidence or whatever, that they're kind of like arguing over, and they'll look at it again. And then maybe people will change their mind. Maybe people will change their mind and they'll say, oh, well, I think he's not guilty now. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that'll happen. Now, what to expect? I'll leave you guys with this, what to expect when expecting a jury trial. So Anna Walshe, a 39-year-old mother of 3 and real estate executive living in a suburb south of Boston, was reported missing in early days of 2023. Her husband, Brian, 50, says he found her dead in their bed on New Year's Day and in a panic disposed of her body and lied to police about it. Prosecutors say Brian Walshe killed his wife. Walshe pled guilty to charges of misleading the police and improper conveyance of a human body last month. Now jurors are deliberating a first-degree murder charge. The case captured national media attention, in part due to the shocking evidence. The prosecution presented video and a receipt from Walshe buying items like a hacksaw, hatchet, mop, and bucket. They also showed his search history, which had inquiries into the best way to dispose of a body and a cell phone and how to clean bloodstains from a hardwood floor. Daniel Medwood, a distinguished professor of law and criminal justice at Northeastern University, said the trial had other interesting twists as it unfolded over the last 2 weeks, and he broke down what to know and what to expect. Answers have been edited for length and clarity. Okay. So, question 1. Jurors are currently in deliberation. How long do you think it'll take for them to come back to a decision, and what do you think will be the outcome? So this is a professor answering these questions. A rule of thumb for jury deliberations is the sooner they come back, the greater the likelihood it's a guilty verdict. It suggests unanimity. The longer it drags on, it suggests that one or more of the jurors are struggling. There are 2 possibilities: murder in the first degree and murder in the second degree. Even if this drags on, it's possible that they're just trying to figure out which of those charges is appropriate. And that's what I think they're doing. I was thirsty, sorry. In terms of predictions, in law school, we learned this Latin phrase. Don't know how to say it, but I'm going to tell you how to say it. The computer will tell me, maybe.
Res ipsa loquitur.
Res ipsa loquitur. The thing speaks for itself. You chop up and discard the body parts of your wife that suggest you killed her. This idea that he panicked because of some sudden death does not comport with common sense. I would be shocked if it were a not guilty verdict. Yeah, I think we all would. So question number 2. Last month, Brian Walshe changed his plea on the lesser charges in the case and pled guilty to misleading police and improperly disposing of his wife's body. What do you think that is? Why do you think that is? You're trained in law school, especially as a defense lawyer, to concede what you can and challenge what you can't. The evidence was overwhelming against him for misleading the police and for improperly conveying the body. The video evidence, the digital evidence, the interviews were overwhelming. He was pretty much a certainty to go down on those charges. By pleading guilty to those 2, it meant that the entirety of the trial was about the toughest element for the government to prove, that he caused her death. If you know you're going to lose, it makes sense to plead guilty. It will make the trial more focused on the prosecution's weakest element. Okay. The defense said they were going to call witnesses to the stand, including Walshe himself, but shocked everyone by not calling any witnesses. What do you make of this decision? On one hand, it's not unusual. The defense is not compelled to call any witnesses. The defense is not even required to put on a case at all because the burden in a criminal case is entirely borne on the prosecution. On the other hand, the defense opening statements promised a defense case and then failed to deliver on it. They may have decided to preserve the option by intimidating that he would testify. Sorry. Maybe they were all uncertain all along. Yeah. But it's possible over the course of the trial, they realized that he wouldn't fare that well on the stand. And that's what, yeah. I think they were like, yeah, well, they got too much shit on you, bro. You shouldn't go up there. In addition, he would get destroyed on cross-examination. It would have been a very risky move. Not only could he be impeached with his art fraud conviction, which goes to his character for truthfulness as a witness, but he would be impeached with lots of prior inconsistent statements that he had made to police. Jurors saw some pretty graphic evidence over the course of the trial, including Walshe shopping for items that could be used to dismember a body. What role do you think this will play in the jury's decision, and will they be able to use this to prove he committed the murder? Emotion is almost always an inherent part of a murder trial. Rules of evidence try to mitigate the potential risk through instructions and admonitions. I can't say it. About looking for the evidence and try to use your common sense. But it's human nature that's going to be part of it. But the rules are pretty clear that the government has to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You can't fill in those gaps with an assumption that he did this. I think jurors will struggle with that. I do too. But there's a lot of circumstantial evidence pointing to the fact that he did kill her. Jurors might be able to overcome the absence of direct evidence by focusing on the circumstantial evidence that creates an inference of murder. The prosecutors also presented Walshe's Google searches. Internet search history also came up in the Karen Reed trial. How much weight can and should be given to these? It is very damning evidence because it essentially goes to the state of mind. We all make Google searches. And to some extent, that reflects what we're thinking. Yeah, that's true. But, I'm not a serial killer over here. My internet searches are cray cray. It's a way of getting access to people's desires, thoughts, and predilections. Why am I having with the P words? I'm struggling. Predilections. It's an interesting issue and no doubt will crop up again and again. The fact that he made so many very precise and harrowing Google searches was really harmful to him in his case. It may have also been one of the reasons that he didn't testify. On cross-examination, he could be asked about those searches. It's very compelling here because without the body, the government couldn't determine cause of death. There was no evidence about premeditation. All the prosecution could point to was the pre-incident evidence. Anna Walshe alleged boyfriend was called to the stand to testify about the state of the couple's marriage, to establish motive and his post-incident behavior to suggest his state of mind. The Google searches suggest he was acting in a relatively cool and calculating fashion. He's thinking about how to do this, how to dismember her, how to dispose of her body. He didn't just go to the hardware store a mile from his house. He went to the Lowe's an hour away. All of these searches indicated not a man who was panicking, which was the defense's theory. It was someone who was trying to get away with murder. And I believe that too. I believe that. Yeah, I didn't know that they weren't allowed to bring that in. But I guess it's because it was federal. It was a different case. He is a criminal. No, he could have. He could have. Yeah, I mean, he probably would have used it for. Absolutely. The baking soda was probably used to absorb what was coming out. I mean, and you cut. I don't want to be really graphic, but we all know, if I were to cut my arm off, I don't know how fast the flow of blood would come out because I'm alive. You know what I mean? But if someone's dead, but still, you still have all that in you. It's got to go somewhere. I've always wondered how people cleaned up that much blood, but So, mine always adds the numbers together. I'm like 29. I'm like, I have 58 on mine. It always adds the two numbers together. Okay, so let's go. We'll go over to the old TikTok real quick and see if there's anything going on over there before we jump off. Now tomorrow I was going to start day lives, but I realized that I have actually an appointment during the day tomorrow. So I will be here at, 3:15? I think I scheduled it for. So after this live, if you guys want to, it's an Idaho 4 live tomorrow. It's an interview that came out that I didn't know that had come out. And it's with one of the girls, Ava, that was there at the scene of at the house on 11/13. So she did an interview with the girl that wrote the book that I have, Vicky Cook. I think her name, that's her name. I can't remember. But anyway, Vicky, she did an interview with her and I just saw it the other day and I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. So I thought we would watch that together tomorrow. So if you're interested in the Idaho 4 case, just sit here after this live. It'll take you over there and then you can just hit the notify me. And then that way you'll be notified of the live. So we'll go over to X. Let me see. Let's see. Okay. Brian Walshe. Let's get a latest. No one's really talking about him anymore. I don't know. This is weird. Okay, that person's probably just that's probably not right. So they started deliberating, I guess, on Friday at 12:22. It went on for 3 hours, 37 minutes, and they went home. I don't know who that is. Okay. There's a lot of people that's following this case, though. Live only when there is a verdict. That's what Grizzly says. Okay. I was trying to see if there was anything like good on here, but I don't really see anything. What is this? Oh, yeah, no. This guy looks like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Somebody put out a video. They're trying to say it's Brian's son. No. Okay, I was just seeing if those were true. Who is this guy? Oh, yeah, no, I don't know who that person. It's hard to find, like, credible people on TikToks, or I mean on X sometimes, not TikTok. But if you're not following me on TikTok, make sure you are. I go live over there. I actually went live over there today. I was live over there for like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes or something like that. I went live. I just put the phone like right here because I have like a little phone thing that just like hook my phone to. So it's just like sometimes easier to go live on TikTok. But then I realized, I was like, why didn't I just go live on my second channel? Like, but I didn't. Yeah, his case is already in the jury hands. Yeah. Oh, you did? Fell asleep on your bench in studio. I was just reading your guys' comments. I wonder what I wonder what the jury's going to say. Like, I mean, if they're, I don't know. The jury would have to know that he pled to the body. They would have had to known about that because they heard about all of that. They heard about the dismemberment and everything. So they would have had to known that he pled guilty to the conveyance, because if they didn't, if the jurors didn't know, then the jurors would be like, why is that charge not part of these charges, right? Why is he only charged with murder? So they would have to know. It was fast. Yeah, it was like 11 days. I was just thinking about that. So, yeah, I don't know. You would think, because you would think that the jurors would know, like, hey, he already pled guilty to these 2 charges. We're going to be talking about these charges, but these are not to be, like, maybe they'd say you can't base the murder charge off of these charges that he pled guilty to. They could say that. And that would be hard, because then you're thinking just murder. And if you're thinking just murder, there's no body. I mean, he did chop her up. I mean, I don't know. Right. Me too, baby girl. I really hope his sons are okay. And I hope that they're okay. Right. I mean, I hope that they're like with somebody that's like on his family. I hope that they're together, at least. If they're not, it's so messed up to do that. Like, it's so selfish. Brian Walshe, you're a selfish piece of shit. Like, really, you really are. You're selfish. Like, you took your kid's mother and their father away. You left them to be orphaned and defend for them their freaking self. Good thing their mom had money and an insurance plan, and at least they'll be able to get something from her, because we all know they ain't getting nothing from you. Just like your dad didn't leave you nothing. You left them with even worse than what your dad left you. You got nothing, and your kids got even worse. Really? For $400,000? Oh man, Brie. Because he put the body in the compactor? I wonder if that's why. His mom probably helped him. She probably did. She probably did help. I mean, I'm not saying that she did. I shouldn't say that, but I mean, why did he have the Tyvek suits still? Like, why did he keep the suits with the blood on them? Like, were you going to use them to paint your house or something? Like, reuse them? Like, I mean, throw it away. What are you thinking? Like, you threw the body away, but you kept the Tyvek suit that had her blood on it. Y'all would be dumb. People would be dumb. As far as I know, he kept the suit anyway. They talked about the suit. Unless the suit was in the trash. But I think they found the suit at his house. Man. I'll look him up again on just see if there's anything on Google really quick. Nope, it doesn't look like it. Well, I'm going to jump off of here. I got to go to PT tomorrow morning. I haven't been in a week because he was sick last week, so we're going this week. But thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. Oh, that contaminated the property. Ooh, yeah. So they didn't own that house. Oh. Wow. I mean, I'm sorry. It makes me laugh because, I mean, but not the contamination part, but the money. Like his mom is going to have, like, I mean, I think Anna would be laughing if, she was alive. That would be something that she would be like, because I don't think her and her mother-in-law probably got along very well. And just from what I've heard and, seen. But where's his mom at actually now that he's in trial? Nobody's there. Nobody's been there for him. Doesn't that suck? That would suck. I mean, like you're already going down for murder and then your parents don't even show up. Like to see you off, Very scary. Well, thank you guys all so much. I forgot I had this QR code I could put up here for my store. I don't know. I don't like the little ducky though. I mean, he's cute, but whatever. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. Thanks for joining me for some Brian Walshe content. Like I said, if you just followed this live out, I won't have the music play too long. It'll send you over to the next live and then you can just hit notify me. If you guys would go over there, hit the like button. That really helps the channel. Even if it's before the live starts, it'll bump it up into the algorithm and get it pushed out there. So more people will join us tomorrow. So I'll see you guys all then. If I do have to change the time of the live, for any reason at all, I'll let you guys know. I'll either let you know in the community tab. So that way you guys know, or I'll just jump on a live really quick and tell you there. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye guys.
Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.